Good evening. You're watching Beyond the Headlines with Bailey Hufstetler, and I am your host, Bailey Hufstetler. Very excited that you are joining us tonight. We've got a lot happening, got a lot to talk about. We're just going to jump right on in. So, first event that we want to talk about tonight is, if you're looking for a great night by the water, Shelter Cove Marina and Campground, which was previously known as Eden Marina and Campground, located in Spring City. They are hosting a seafood boil, and you do not want to miss it. So this is going to be a special ticketed event featuring fresh seafood, live music, and beautiful lake views. It's all happening in Spring City in partnership with Kofer's Garage 2.0 and Captain Max Seafood and Grill. So come hungry, bring your friends, and enjoy a laid-back night at the Cove. For more information, go to their website or Facebook page and get all the information that you need there for that. Sounds like a really good time. Also happening in Graysville, we have the Rock and Ride Parade and Festival. It's coming to Graysville City Park on Saturday, June the 6th. There's going to have a parade that will begin at 1 p.m., followed by a full day of activities. We're talking live music, food trucks, a petting zoo, giant inflatables, and even a scavenger hunt with games and prizes. Best of all, it's completely free and open to the public. So make sure you go on down to Graysville and enjoy that on June the 6th. Summer also means that it's vacation Bible school season, and there are a couple of great options for families. I know there's a ton going on, but these are the few that I've been able to see. If you're a church and you have some vacation Bible schools that you would like me to promote, please send them to me. There's a Google form on our Facebook page, and then also you can send them via message to the Rhea County Observer, and we'll get them on here. But New Union Baptist Church, they are hosting Illumination Station June 1st through the 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. And then also Garrison Baptist Church. They are presenting Emerald Crossing, which is an Irish-themed adventure through Psalm 23. Running June 7th through the 11th. Both events offer fun, faith, and activities for kids of all ages. So make sure that you go to their Facebook pages, their websites, and get more information about that. Another event that I saw today, and it may have already changed before press time today, however, another event that is selling out quickly is Embers and Elegance. It is set for Thursday, June 18th at Trinity Chapel and Events in Dayton. This night will include dinner, live music, and an auction with music performed by Baron Wilson. This semi-formal event supports the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Ocoee region, so make sure that you get information on their Facebook page about that. I know I saw earlier today, I think they had 4 tables left, so it is selling out quickly, so please make sure, if it's not sold out already, please make sure that you go and check out the information there to see how you can get tickets for that if there are still available. For our Rhea County Executive Debate, which is something that all of you have obviously been checking up on and looking at our Facebook page for this. Tuesday, June 30th at 7 p.m. We were going to do it as an in-studio only debate. Some citizens, and I've talked to other individuals as well who I respect and really value their opinion, and they've been doing this a whole lot longer than I have, so I kind of called around and asked for their opinions and went ahead and decided to work on trying to get it as an in-person event as well. We are still going to be able to do the live stream. We're going to have a mole set up with our wonderful studio here at BKP Studios. They are going to come to the high school and set up a remote access so that we can also live stream it as well, just like we're doing here tonight. But we are going to have a live audience opportunity for you to be able to participate and for you to be able to come and watch that happening. That is going to be on Tuesday, June the 30th at 7 p.m. That is going to be at the Rhea County High School Auditorium. Admission is free, so please make sure that you come and do that. There will be a time tonight after this episode. I will post the form for you to be able to submit your questions that you would like to be asked during that debate. The same rules apply as what it would have even applied whenever they're here, if they were here in studio. The same rules will apply, and it'll be similar to our other debates that we've done in the past. So, again, Tuesday, June 30th at 7 p.m., we're going to be having our debate live on Facebook, YouTube, and then also in person at the Rhea County High School. Be looking for more details on that. So, have a very special guest with us tonight, which is one of the main reasons why, obviously, that hopefully some of you are watching this. We have Justin Davis. Justin Davis is running for District 5 County Commissioner. And so we have him here in the studio live with us tonight. Justin, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very excited that you're here. So I want to start off by talking a little bit about your race. So you're running for County Commission District 5. So tell me a little bit about what prompted you to run and kind of, why you're here.
Well, at first I was going to get involved in the state run. And then I talked to some people and they said, you've never ran before, you're new to politics, I advise you run for a county office or a city office, Well, obviously there's no city offices this year in this election cycle. So I decided to go ahead and run for county commission. And it's just, I have a heart for service. Okay. I've served my country. I've served my community to the best I can at this point. Now it's time for me to step it up, and serve in a way that I can actually do something and hopefully make some changes for the better.
Awesome. So you've got three actually, but there's four of you total running. So three competitors, if you will, that are running for this same office. So we have the incumbent Emily Fisher, then we have Justice Stout, and then Frankie Robinson. What is something that you think that you have in your tool belt, we should say, or just your experience, whatever, something that you have that is that may be different from your competition?
Well, that's a great question. In fact, this was something I was thinking about last night. I've everybody that knows me knows I'm a combat veteran. And so, my first deployment, I was lower enlisted. I was the one who was told what to do. But my last combat deployment, I was actually an NCO making decisions, leading Marines. Luckily, with God's grace, I was able to bring my Marines home, no injuries or anything like that. But what my competitors do not have, they do not have that military training. They do not have that military discipline and leadership skills that I have. They don't really, I'm sure they think they know what pressure is, but you get what I'm saying? They've never had that kind of pressure being under fire to make a decision to that's either going to save lives or take lives, and that's what I bring to the table is a lot of that, that leadership and that discipline.
Yeah. Okay. You're also, so again, I first want to say thank you for your service to this country.
You're welcome.
We just celebrated Memorial Day this obviously yesterday and then this past weekend. And we are very thankful for people like you who are willing to go and serve our country in that capacity. We actually talked about it at church on Sunday. We have, there are individuals who are overseas, away from their families, away from their children every day, fighting for this country. And so I want to thank you for that, for serving our country. So thank you.
Yeah, I spent yesterday really reminiscing. Yeah. I lost 4 brothers. And so yesterday for me was more like a day of reflection. Yeah. Thankful for their ultimate sacrifice and thinking about the Gold Star families. Yeah. That's what I did yesterday.
Wow. So you're a small business owner as well.
Yes.
So obviously that brings some clout to the race as well because you are a business owner. So tell me a little bit about that and how your experience as a small business owner has better prepared you for this race.
Well, I recently graduated from Sonoran Desert Institute with my associates in firearms technology and associates of science. I graduated magna cum laude. Okay. I furthered my education by going ahead and getting certified as a master handgun gunsmith through Sonoran Desert Institute. I received my FFL the end of April, so May 1st is when I actually really just open. Yeah. And I'm already seeing some challenges out there. That I think we can do better with helping the other small businesses in our community. I went out today, talked to small business owners, and I told them, I said, Rhea County, we love our small county feel, you know. I don't think we need like big corporations coming in here, you know, and taking over our way of life. So to combat that, I think really as Rhea Countyans, we should be investing more into our own small town businesses and corporations.
Yeah. Small towns or small businesses are obviously the backbone of our community.
Yes.
So how do you suggest that the county continues to grow? Because as we see it, I mean, we are seeing, you know, larger corporations come in. What do you feel your position on the county commission will be able to either help that or combat that issue?
Well, you know, it depends. You know, if I'm elected, I'm only one person on the commission. You know, I get my say, just like what is it, 8 or 9 other. Yeah. So, you know, it's going to be something that we as a commission are going to have to work together for. We're going to have to work with those small county business leaders and build bridges with them, work to get federal grants to invest in our own community. They're out there. It's just let's find a way to get these grants. I mean, other counties in Tennessee are getting grants. Why can't Rhea County?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So again, we talked about, you know, you've got 3 individuals who are running for this position as well. So you have Emily Fisher. Emily Fisher, she is the incumbent to this, you know, this position. She was on the commission for several, several terms. Then you got Frankie Robinson. Frankie Robinson is running as well. Robinson is obviously a big name here in Rhea County. And then you've got Justice Stout, who, landlord, owns businesses, owns properties, things like that. So what is your tactic? You're a military guy, so I'm sure you have a tactic. What are you doing right now to help get your name out there against some of these big names that have been involved in this more than you have?
Right. And that's a good question, too. Really, what I'm doing, I'm going door to door. I'm knocking on doors. If I'm not getting a hold of people, I'm leaving a card or something. And, you know, and I'm also got a Facebook presence as well. And the thing that I keep repeating myself on Facebook is, hey, I want to hear your concerns as the voter. I can't do nothing. If you elect me and you don't tell me what your concerns are, I don't know what to fix what's broken other than what I can find out from, you know, daily news and stuff about what's actually going on in the county. And so I want to hear from the voter, you know. I want to talk to the voter. I want to sit down with them. Some of the voters I've went and visited them with, I've sat 1 or 2 hours with, and, you know, we're all Rhea Countyans.
Yeah.
And we need to be a family and take care of each other, you know. And something else I'm pushing is we need to build a better Rhea County, not just for ourselves, but the futures of our children, our grandchildren. You know, they deserve to have a future here. Yeah. And so.
Yeah. What do you think are the number one? What do you think the number one issue is right now that the county commission is facing, and how do you feel that the county commission that's currently there? How do you feel like that they're fixing the issue, working the issue, handling the issue? What do you think about that?
Well, you know, there's this big topic that nobody wants to talk about, and there was some there's some corruption issues. You know, I think we need oversight. Yeah. You know, we do not need to allow this type of stuff that's happened, and I'm not going to come out and say what I know. You know, but it doesn't need to happen. There needs to be transparency in our government. You know, it's like I posted on Facebook one time, and I said, you know, I'm a taxpayer too. I want to know what my taxes are paying for in this county, just like everybody else does. Where's the transparency on our taxes? You know, we need to be transparent with our people so they can trust. We need to build trust in the community, between the community and the government, and work together. Yeah. We don't need a big government, but we need to take care of our people.
Yeah. How do you feel you being on the commission will help that, and what steps do you plan to take in order to help that?
Well, you know, I've been out there saying, you know, we do have some crime problems as far as drugs goes. That needs to be taken care of. You know, I don't know what it's going to take to get that taken care of, but, you know, we as a commission, if elected, that is, have a responsibility to protect our citizens. We also have environmental issues in our county. We have healthcare issues in our county. We have issues with economic development. we've already covered the small business investing, and I think our veterans deserve better in this county. I'm the former director of veteran services for this county, and the reason I left was because I felt like the county, I resigned because I was getting backlash from certain individuals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, my job is to make the lives of Rhea County veterans better, and you're telling me I can't do that?
Yeah.
It upset me.
Yeah.
And it killed me to walk away from that position because I felt like I was failing my vets.
Yeah.
And I love my vets,
How long were you in that position?
Not very long, maybe 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
And I mean, I had people coming in. I was getting people 100% disability. I had one veteran that the former had started a file on him, and the VA just threw his file in like permanent limbo. Wow. I can't remember this veteran's name, but he waited 18 months to get his disability rating.
Wow.
And that's not on what our people were doing. That's what the VA was doing.
Yeah.
And all it took was me making a phone call, and I think that was on a Tuesday. He came in my office on that Thursday and was like, "I got my back pay, Justin. Thank you so much." You know, and I hope he's hearing me. Right now. That was the best day of my life in that job. Really, it really was.
Yeah. So you talk about corruption, transparency. That you want to help bring that to the commission. I know that some of the commissioners, have, they've started, live streaming the meetings or maybe recording them and putting them on. I can't remember which one it is, but I think City of Dayton live streams, and then Rhea County, they put them on there. Do you think that is helping? Would you like to see that more expanded?
Maybe more expanded.
Yeah.
I have seen where they're starting to post the meeting minutes online too. That's a good thing too.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to expand more on that.
Yeah.
I want the people to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Not be like, well, the county government's just not doing anything for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
speaking of the county meetings, do you go to those meetings every month? Or?
Actually, I haven't been.
Yeah.
But starting next month, I'm going to start going. I'm glad you brought this up because I'm not just going to go to the county meetings, but since my district is actually mostly in the city of Dayton, I'm going to start going to the city council meetings. And here's why. I feel if I'm elected out of District 5, it's my responsibility as that county commissioner, since it's mostly in the city, to build a bridge with city council, the city mayor's office, so that we can work together.
Yeah.
And that just, to me, feels like a personal responsibility.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you mentioned that, too, because I think, a lot of people, they get confused about, they have a city representative, but then they also have a county representative. And when you live in the city, you kind of forget that. So it's very good that you bring that up. And, hopefully you'll be able to bring that bridge to where we can have better working relationship with the city and the county.
Yeah, and I think that's a thing that's probably missing right now.
Yeah.
And unless you got people building bridges and making allies in other lower offices, how can you get things done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been asked about the roads yet on your campaign trail?
Actually, yes. I've had a lot of people. The biggest thing really is like, okay, I live over on Bailey, right? And I believe Emily does too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on Bailey Street was like, and 11th Avenue, right? They're like, we want speed bumps. And I can see why. People who don't even live in the neighborhood just come flying through Bailey Street. We have kids, small kids on our street, And here's what they tell me. We went to the city. We asked for road bumps. They told us, if you'll pay for them, we'll install them. What? Excuse me? Yeah. Isn't that a tax thing? Isn't that why we pay city taxes if we live in the city? Isn't that why we pay county taxes if we live in the city and the county too?
Yeah.
So I think that's a tax issue, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or I could be wrong. It could be a TDOT issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's funny because, that's one of the biggest topics is, is roads.
It is.
And people, they tend to blame the road supervisor very heavily, when in reality, it's really, the county commission, allocating the money and the grants that they have that they can get to to do that. And so it's very interesting around campaign time whenever everybody
it is
talks about that.
It's like a friend of mine, Mark Hall, over in Bradley County, who ran for state senate a few years back.
Yeah.
Mark told me, he said, the county commission controls the county purse. And when he told me that, I was like, that's a huge weight. It is, but it's also a huge responsibility too. And that's another thing. We need to have a balanced budget in this county. One thing I do support as far as the budget goes, I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but I would like to see a better benefits package for our county workers.
Okay.
I mean, I hate that. Let's take the sheriff's department for instance. I hate that we're a training ground for good deputies who come on, work a few years. Oh, Hamilton County has better benefits. I'm going over to Hamilton County.
Yeah.
I think we need to put a stop to that so we can retain good people in this county.
Yeah.
And it's the same with teachers too.
Yeah.
We need good teachers. We need cops. We need good medical facility personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're very passionate about our county employees, which is something that I think in this race everyone needs to understand. The county commission, the rules that they impose, when it comes to like raises and things like that for the county employees, that comes from the county commission.
Yeah.
So you're pro-employee, it sounds like.
I am pro-employee, and the reason I'm pro-employee is because we need to retain. It goes back to taking care of our county.
Yeah.
We need to retain good people so that they can take good care of our people.
Yeah.
And again, that's another, going back to the investing in our small businesses too. That's taking care of our people. That's investing in our county.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. One thing I will mention, and I'm sure you may have already been asked this, but me, I live in your district, so me as a voter, and I'm sure there's probably some people that may think this as well, and want to ask is that, you mentioned at the beginning that you wanted to run for state office first, but didn't have that opportunity, so you decided to run for county. So, what are your plans, after? Are you going to run for a term or two and win, or if you win, and then are you going to try to seek office, more than just the county, or what are your thoughts?
I think, if I win this election, right, I will stay as long as the people want me to obtain their chair. So your chair as a voter, it's not my chair, it's your chair. I'm just there because I'm representing you, and that's how I look at it. You elect me, I go sit again in your seat. And as long as you'll have me, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of these. Okay, I got that experience. Checkbox. I really want to be a part of this community. I really believe in Rhea County. I believe we can grow, and I believe we deserve better.
Yeah. Going to one of the hot topics, especially in this community, we're very heavily with our first responders, and a lot of our first responders in this county are all volunteers. So what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel like do you feel like the county supports our first responders enough? Kind of what's your thought process on that?
That's something I'm going to have to look into more. I didn't know that, to be honest.
Yeah.
That is something I'm going to have to look into more. And, if there is some kind of way that we can give incentives to the volunteers, oh yeah, let's do it. Again, it goes back to my saying, we got to take better care of our people.
Yeah. Yeah. So for just tidbit information for you, so all of our fire departments in the county, it's all volunteer.
Really?
We do have a few now. They just started a couple of years ago. We do have a few full-time paid employees that are fire department members, but majority of our fire department are Rhea County Rescue Squad on both units, so 500 and 600. They're all volunteers, so they're not paid, for their service.
Wow.
My dad was part of the rescue squad for a long time up in Spring City, and my dad actually used to run. Well, didn't start with my dad, but my dad helped after. But the haunted house that they did in Spring City at the rescue squad building for years, we did that and raised a lot of money for the rescue squad, but a majority of our if not all. Now our city department, the city of Dayton, their fire department and their first responder, their unit there, it's paid.
Yeah.
They do have some volunteers that help with that as well, but it is paid. But all of our county departments, with the exception of the handful that are paid, all the other, it's all volunteer, which is really, so that's a lot, a lot of volunteers.
That's really something that needs to be looked into then. Yeah. Again, grant funding from the state, federal granting, there's something that is out there. Let's, get together as a commission and find something to get more established paid county firefighters and first responders. Yeah. That's just, being that's news to me. I find that, that's just wrong.
Yeah. And they go through a lot of training. They're all volunteers. They don't have to do it. They do it because they want to.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Yeah. So would you look into that more?
I would. I definitely would.
And go and support them because they've got fund. They do a lot of their funding comes from the county, but then also fundraisers and things like that. Like we just promoted their firework fundraiser they're doing to help raise money for their stations. The Rescue Squad in Spring City and Dayton both do different fundraisers throughout the year to promote and to get money. So, look into that. So,
I will. I'm glad you told me about that. Let me write that down.
Yeah, very amazing to see how many kind-hearted volunteers that we have that are willing to go out and do that. So, one last thing, and we'll talk just a little bit about what are you the contacts that you have. So you mentioned Mark Hall, which Mark Hall, I remember whenever he ran for Senate. Yeah. What other contacts do you have that you think would benefit you if you were to win county commission?
Some of those I'm not going to name because they're in other races in the county right now, and I'm not going to publicly endorse anybody. Yeah. Like I said, I got friends running. I'm supporting them in spirit, but I'm not, coming straight out and saying, hey, but I've got friends, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So I asked that because, a lot of this race has been, even for the county executive race, a lot of people have been throwing out, people have contacts and things like that. But really, what I was trying to get at is that it's really not about who you know, it's about how hard you work.
Exactly.
And so if you're willing to get out and work for the people and you're willing to get out and do the door-to-door campaigning and being willing to go out and actually be with the people and not, I think that's going to go a long way, especially with the names that you're running against. I definitely think getting out and doing that is going to speak well with the voter, actually getting out and sitting in their living rooms and talking to them about what really affects them,
right? And
what issues that they have, because like you said, you're just one vote on the commission, so you're not anybody that can really invoke change on your own. But if you have the people rallying behind you, then you can invoke some change that way,
right?
With getting their support and their to get their buy-in.
Yeah,
their vote is investing in you.
Exactly.
So that's good.
And I'd like to. Can I add on that?
Of course.
It's like anybody who knows Marines, right? There's a saying: "No better friend, no worse enemy." Right. So remember that when you go to the polls, because I will fight for my people, and I will not stop until a resolution comes. Yeah. And with the people when I'm out there on the campaign trail, if I don't get to personally speak with them, it kind of hurts me personally. It's not like I'm taking it as an offense. It's just like, well, I missed them. I was hoping to get their input, but here's a flyer, at least if I don't get to talk to you guys, at least consider me the fact that I did stop by, and tried to have that moment with you.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I wish you luck, and thank you for coming on the show tonight. And I encourage everyone to go to your Facebook page. Do you have a Facebook page specifically for your campaign, or is it your personal page?
Right now, it's my personal. Okay. I did have a specific one, but I shut it down because it was like not getting any response. So now I'm just back to my personal.
Okay.
Facebook page.
Okay.
Or you can hit me up on my business page
Okay.
on Facebook.
Perfect. And what's the name of that business?
Davis Gunsmithing.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So you have it here. So again, thank you for coming on the show tonight and talking and answering some of my questions, and also just sharing your passion and your what your goals are for the county and what your goals are for if you are elected. So I wish you the best of luck and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And if you want to come on more, just let me know. I appreciate it. So again, Justin Davis running for District 5 County Commission. Go onto his social media, check it out, look and see what he has. I'm sure that he would invite you to message him, ask him more questions if you had questions that you would like answered. Be involved in the process. Be involved in the voting process. We talked about whenever we done the election coverage, and then me and Justin were actually talking about this earlier before the show started, is that in this last election, in the primary, 22% of our voters actually went out and voted. And so that right there is just, that doesn't set well with me. We've got a lot of individuals registered to vote in the county, and only 22% actually went out and voted. And so, that tells me that we have a lot of people who want to share their opinion, but not in the right places. You want to get on Facebook and be a keyboard warrior on Facebook, but you don't want to go to the polls and vote for actual change. So that's where I'll stop there with that. So again, thank you guys for joining us tonight and showing your support for the Beyond the Headlines with Bailey Hufstetler. We are gearing up. Obviously, it's a busy campaign season for us with all of the elections that are happening and all the candidates that are running for office. We are inviting any candidates that want to come onto the show, do a similar talk like this, just talking about their campaign, their passion. So if you're running for office and you're interested in that, shoot me a message. Even if you don't have the money to pay for a sponsor, we sell advertising, out, for stuff like that. But even if you don't have the money for it, come on the show anyway. We want to be able to be a platform for you to be able to use and for you to be able to show the community. And as we're growing, we're getting a lot of views. I think our last episode that we have already has like 6,000 views on it. So we're getting views, we're getting the exposure. So come on to the show and participate and enjoy that. So thank you guys for joining in tonight. We really appreciate you and everything that you do. God bless Rhea County and God bless America.